right, so what I'm doing this morning, we back out here working on this thing again. It's been a week or so since we messed with it. Come rain and blowed moisture up under here and got some surface rust on the metal. We ain't gonna worry about that right now. That'll come later on down the road when we start doing some finishing stuff. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. But I'm gonna go about making some measurements and some cuts, and we're gonna make some fenders to go on this hood today. So we're gonna take flat sheet metal, just regular, it's 11 gauge flat metal, and we're gonna make some fenders to go on this hood. So I don't have no nothing fancy to bend anything with. 24. Eleven and a half, 10 and a quarter, 10 and a half, 10 and a quarter, 10 and a half. I'm gonna try to duplicate both sides so they look the same. So whatever I make it on one side, I got to be sure I make it the same on the other side. Inches, 30 and 8. All right, that should be enough to get started with. 33. 33. All right, so bring your camera over here a minute. So what I've done here is I've made a series of measurements on this plate. This is just flat 11 gauge plate, and I'm gonna cut some grooves in it so I'm able to flex it around a little bit better. And we're just gonna build the fender out of just from scratch. Like I said, I ain't got nothing to bend and hammer on the metal. I ain't got no type of, and normally you could bend this stuff out of something a lot thinner and you could just roll it around a whole lot easier. But I don't want the thing out of super thin material just because it's easier. I want something more heavier, uh, something that'll last, something that can take up the weather. Uh, so I'm gonna use this thicker material. It's gonna be a little bit harder for me as far as bending it. It's gonna be more work, but in the end, I'm gonna have a better piece of equipment there. we'll just go here and mark it. And then I'll come back with a Metabo and I'll cut it down to wherever I feel like the minimum is I can roll it around. I won't cut no more than I got to. Then I'll come back and tack it back up once I get it where I want it. Just take your square and make your straight lines. You cut it on an angle and it rolls around, it's going to be rolling around on an angle. And this is just the first step. It's actually got a lip on it that's got to roll too, that I'm going to have to come back a little bit later on and roll the lip. So flip this over. So this is basically what we come up with. We just mark us some straight lines across here. We'll take the cutter. It's a bunch of them, so it's going to take a little while to cut them. We'll be back. We ain't gonna use nothing fancy to bend it around with. We just got an old tire and rim that's got a 36-inch radius on it, and I'm fixing to roll it around here. So this right here is gonna be the radius I'm gonna use to bend it with. I'm gonna find me a good spot. I feel like that's a good spot. I'm gonna roll it back here in the shade. Roll it right here in the shade. There's a flat spot on that tire. We don't want to be on that. So this is my radius right here. This is the radius I want. That's a 36-inch circle. quite cut enough to roll. Need to cut it some more. It ain't quite cut enough to roll easy. All right, let's try this. We got it thinned out a little bit more. Let's see if we can get it to roll now. Moving. I want to go ahead and cut that weld loose right here at the bottom so I don't have to fight with it once I get that up there. All right. All right, we've got us a mark here about where I want the radius to go at, so we're just going to play with it until we get it about where I want it at. Yeah, we got to roll it around a bit more. Got a flat spot right there. I don't like that. I'll let you see it out there in a minute. So this fender's not straight. You can see how when we first put the square marks on the table, I said we were going to use them to get some measurements later on down the road. You can see where my mark's at, and this is a square mark with the fender, and that's what we want. We want the actual hood is kind of at an angle, but we want the fenders to be square at a 90. So we want the fenders to be square from the front, and then turn a 90 and be square. So what I got to do is transfer this mark up to here, and this thing here has got to be cut on an angle, kind of. So step back here and I'll let you see what I'm talking about. If you look at the front of the hood, straight in the front of the hood, it would look like the fender is going out to the right at a right angle. So what we want to do is come here and we want to straighten this up across here. We're going to leave it a little wider than that mark there is what I want it. Probably inch wider maybe, because we got something else going on there that we don't want overhanging too far. So the bottom here, from here to there, we got 11. The mark is 10 3/4, and we got 11 3/4, so that would give us an inch. So what I got to do is transfer that out. Get me a mark up here. I'll come back 9 inches. I come back 8 inches, which would be here. And my mark should be 9 7/8. So I come back 8 inches here. Let's see where 8 inches is at. 8 inches is right there. So from here to there, we want to be 9 7/8. Well, 9 7/8 is the mark. We'll actually go 10 7/8. Yeah. If I come back again, 16 to be here. The mark is 9 1/4, so we go 10 1/4. Come up here, 16 is about right here. Go 10 1/4. Really, I need that off of there. I need to cut this off out of my way. See how straight this board is. And you have to use different kind of ways of getting a measurement when you got angles and radiuses and different stuff in your way. You have to use different ways to get your measurement. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to transfer this mark here, and then I want to be an inch more over that way. So once I get the straight line transferred, then I'll add an inch to it on the end. It'll be the same thing for here. If I want it to add an inch, if I want it to come up level, I always want to try to be square. It don't matter what you're doing. Try to get you something you can square with. Ain't always going to get perfect, but so right there. At the edge of that board. 2.5 is back, 2 3/8 is back from the mark. So if I want it to be an inch out, I'll go 1 3/8 from this inside of this board here, inside of my metal. 1 3/8. We'll do away with that mark there. An 1.25 there. And then what I would do is I would come here. I want it to be on 2 inches. So I'll go back in 1 inch from there. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to eyeball or use some tape. Kind of get you the mark that you're looking for once you get something to go by. Once I got me something to go by, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Step aside. Yeah. I'd like the fender really to be just a little bit, well, it will be a little wider because I'm actually going to be on the outside of my tape. I'm going to be on the outside of my tape. So now that I got it taped up, you can kind of see how much it runs out to the right. So I think that looks like the bottom is good. I'd rather have it in out a little bit than in. But what I'll probably do instead of cutting it all the way off is I got to roll that corner anyway. So what I'll probably do is leave some of that on there about 1 inch. That way I can just slit it to the line and be able to fold it around where I want it to be straight at. So that's probably better. That's probably what I'll do. I'll leave this on here like this. I won't cut it off. I'll leave it on. I'll come back and cut it right here all the way up to the edge of my blue tape. I'll slit it all the way through. And then I want to come back and roll it right on that end here. I want to roll it down because I need about a 3 inch lip roll down here. So that's what we're going to do.